always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
For Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence is because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Álvarez. A lot of his opponents.
Terence Crawford brought the fire at a tense press conference, unleashing sharp words at Canelo Álvarez. He made it clear that his focus is on winning inside the ring, but warned that if Canelo crosses the line or shows disrespect, things could turn personal. Crawford's passionate remarks reveal just how locked in he is, both mentally and physically, leaving no doubt about his confidence heading into the fight.
You a there is stuff. You a see you a I'm talking to let Aaron. You a because you keep talking like a. You doing all that talking. That's how you doing all that talking. You can't be gotta come back. I come back. You don't talk. And you talking too much. This you want some attention. Some icon right here. This is gonna be legendary right here. Female ass. So y'all tuning in. This is a legendary old school fight. Get out some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ. Yeah.
Trainer Greg Hackett has been outspoken in his belief that Crawford can beat Canelo. He credits Crawford's fearless mentality, never approaching fights with hesitation or intimidation. Hackett argues that this mindset is what sets him apart in a division where many fighters freeze up in the presence of a dominant force like Canelo. He insists Crawford's confidence isn't arrogance, but the product of years of discipline, hard-fought wins, and constant adaptability. Hackett believes this fight isn't an uphill climb but another stage for Crawford to prove he thrives when the pressure is highest.
Yeah, they taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford, they taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money gonna land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's gonna be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Álvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we can get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just gonna come down to the big question for Bud is, can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question, I think, for Canelo is, does he get old? I say that for a reason. He got a lot of fights, bro. He got, I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people would like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus Earl Spence.
Adam Smith, one of boxing's most respected commentators, called a potential Crawford or Canelo bout a massive step up, but a very winnable one. He highlighted Crawford's elite boxing IQ and ability to quickly read opponents, adjust strategies, and exploit openings with precision. Smith also pointed out that Canelo's defensive style sometimes leaves small gaps that a fast, intelligent fighter like Crawford could capitalize on. He predicted that if Crawford wins, it will likely come by decision, with his superior ring generalship allowing him to outthink and outmaneuver Canelo over 12 rounds. Smith praised the matchup as one of the most exciting in years, a true clash of mental and physical mastery.
November the 13th, it's billed as fight of the century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of, it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
No, but you back Ben. I mean, how much you spoke about?
No, I love that fight.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
Yeah,
but that's in Britain. That's prime time here. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo, and I think that he could win it on point.
Boxing analyst Ade Oladipo offered a more critical take, suggesting that while the fight has captured attention, it doesn't have the same raw intrigue as other recent marquee matchups such as Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Oladipo argued that the natural size difference and the perception that Canelo has the edge remove some of the unpredictability. Whereas Usyk-Dubois offered a clash of styles and genuine suspense, Crawford-Canelo, in his view, feels more like hype-driven spectacle than an evenly matched rivalry.
Like, you know, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century. Some are saying the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. Like, I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. How Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost felt like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. And maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side is a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. Event went massive. Mayweather Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal, because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Promoters have pulled out all the stops to turn Crawford versus Canelo into a global event, branding it as the fight of the century. They've tapped into audiences beyond hardcore boxing fans, thanks in part to Netflix's involvement, providing unprecedented behind-the-scenes access, documentaries, and exclusive interviews. This approach has blurred the lines between sport and entertainment, making the fight feel more like a cultural moment than just another bout.
I'm holding you to the standard you say. They're tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you can pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed 2,566, dollar value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Veteran commentator Al Bernstein gave a candid assessment, stating that despite the promotional machine, this wasn't the matchup hardcore fans were truly clamoring for. Bernstein explained that many wanted Crawford to face other contenders in his own division or Canelo to meet challengers closer to his natural weight. He argued that while the fight has commercial appeal, it lacks the organic rivalry and built-in narrative that make a fight a must-see. For Bernstein, the hype is largely a product of marketing rather than overwhelming public demand.
To have these two level of fighters meet, where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that, the interesting thing is, it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford.
Right,
In other words,
right.
it wasn't one of those fights, like there were more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But, having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans.
For sure, for
having
sure.
said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the the ticket sales and everything. And they've sold, it looks like they've already sold 30, 40,000 seats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I believe they'll sell it out.
Left, in Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that will also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved up.
This sentiment is echoed by many boxing fans who feel that while the fight will draw a massive audience, it wasn't a matchup they begged for. With Canelo's size and weight advantage, many fear the result could be predictable. The intrigue lies entirely in whether Crawford can defy the odds and pull off a historic upset. If he does, the fight could go down as one of the sport's great shockers. If Canelo wins as expected, critics may dismiss it as inevitable. This is the tension that fuels the build-up, the hope for an upset versus the fear of a foregone conclusion.
Tickets available for this fight because of that undercard. This promotion has been just, it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Álvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Álvarez? Because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's gonna be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are gonna be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is going to be some memorable night of boxing, other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people. Many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I mean, I would have to go out and see in the United States how many fighters from the United States do they actually have. right?
Observers have been stunned by Crawford's transformation at 175 pounds. Photos and reports show him with a noticeably thicker frame, broader shoulders, a stronger neck, and defined muscle mass, looking like a man built to trade with a powerhouse like Canelo. His conditioning has reassured fans that he won't be undersized in this fight. Instead, he looks physically ready to absorb punishment, maintain speed, and still execute his high-level game plan. This new-look Crawford has reignited debates about whether size will actually matter on fight night.
Terence Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded. What looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at one right now, because obviously the weight is at 168 and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders, okay? When you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right, you can see the waterway, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what it actually is.
Canelo Álvarez's pedigree, however, remains a massive factor. Having turned professional at 15, he's faced nearly every style in the sport and beaten some of the best names across multiple divisions. He boasts one of the most efficient jabs, a rock-solid chin, and the ability to make mid-fight adjustments like few others. His resume proves he thrives under high-pressure moments. For Crawford, this fight represents the ultimate test, taking on an opponent who blends skill, toughness, and decades of experience into one of boxing's most dangerous packages.
Terence Crawford, a guru in the ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm going to come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Álvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk, everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put the shoes to...
That wraps up today's coverage. Stay tuned for more updates.